Good morning. This is Patrick Lee, and we are live coming to you from the Miami Beach Convention Center in Miami, Florida today. I'm here for EXPCon 2024. I'm an Icon agent with my brokerage, the company I work for. Many of you know that, Patrick Lee Group. At EXP Realty, I'm actually sitting here in the Icon Lounge. They're the top 2% of agents in our company, have our own private lounge here. Big, huge place. But I'm actually sitting in here doing some work, and I want to do the show in here. There may be people that come in behind me. A breakout session has just ended. More are fixing to start. The atmosphere is electric. I'm in the Icon Lounge, so people may be coming behind me to take selfies and shoot photos. But I wanted to shoot from in here. You'll hear a little bit of noise. I hope y'all can hear me all right. I told you last week we'd have a special show today. There are a couple of times that I will do a power replay of shows that were very popular in the past. Wanted to do a live show here from Miami today. And we're going to be talking about a special topic today, something that is near and dear to some of the hearts of some friends of mine, but it will apply to every one of your businesses and industries that you're in. And I would just start by saying today, welcome back to Midweek Motivation Live with me, Patrick Lee, your host, your weekly dose of inspiration to fuel your passions and purpose. Today, we're diving into a powerful concept, reshaping the world of service and leadership. Unreasonable hospitality is the topic today. This approach comes from Will Guidara, author, hospitality genius, and keynote speaker yesterday at our conference, and it really revolutionized the way that I can increase in the hospitality that I provide in my level of service with all of my clients as well. He was the hospitality genius behind 11 Madison Park, the world famous restaurant in New York City. Will's approach has revolutionized how we think about excellence and service, and it really struck a tone with me, both in my personal and my professional life. So I want to break down 6 key points today of Will Guidara's philosophy. So let's get into that. People already tuning in today to watch the show. I appreciate that. This is going to resonate with a couple of you guys for sure. Hey, good morning, Ross. Good to see you tuning in. People already liking and loving the show. People already watching. I love that. We are going to talk today about 6 key topics relating to unreasonable hospitality by Will Guidara. Now, wait, who is Will Guidara again? Will Guidara was the co-owner and hospitality genius behind 11 Madison Park. 11 Madison Park was a 2-star restaurant in New York City. Had a so-so reputation for a very upscale restaurant. Well, he became co-owner and started this concept of unreasonable hospitality. And within 11 years, they grew this restaurant to the rank of number 1 in the entire world. Number 1 ranked restaurant in the world, 11 Madison Park in New York City. And these are some of the topics we're talking about today that they use specifically to get to that point. And I believe that this will help all of us. Good morning, Marlene. Good to see you watching as well. I think you guys are going to love this. We're going to dig in now. Unreasonable hospitality by Will Guidara. Number 1, let's talk about unreasonable hospitality. What is that? What does that even mean? It's about going beyond the expected, delivering experiences so memorable they leave a lasting impact in the lives of those that you touch. Will Guidara believes that hospitality should be more than just service. Hospitality and service are 2 different things. Hospitality should be an art form that connects people through genuine care and intention. He shares a story where he noticed a family dining with their young son. The kid mentioned he loved hot dogs, but 11 Madison Park didn't have hot dogs on their menu. First trip to New York, and the kid wanted a New York hot dog. So Will had his team go out, buy a New York hot dog, and then they cut it into 4 pieces. He told this story yesterday in session. He cut it into 4 pieces. They arranged it properly and expertly on the plate with a splash of ketchup and a swirl of mustard. and a microgreen on the plate and served it to the family with the same elegance as the rest of the dishes they serve at that high-end restaurant. And they were blown away by that touch. That's what he means by unreasonable hospitality, being willing to go out of the way to give people memorable, meaningful experiences that resonate with them. It's not about bending to every whim or every wish that everyone could have, but it shows them that they're valued. It's a mindset, a willingness to ask these questions of ourselves. What extra touch can I add to make this person's day just a little more special? I think that was a wonderful touch. He shared many, many stories. This was one of the stories that he shared, and I'll share a couple more as we go on. Number 2, the second point that he talked about was excellence through intention. Excellence through intention isn't an accident. It's something you design with a purpose, on purpose. Think about what if every single detail in our workday, our interactions, and our goals were designed to express our very best. Will focuses on the idea that excellence lies in the small things, the little details, how the napkins were folded on the table, the way food is presented, or how a greeting is delivered. He actually had his staff come together when they started this journey, and they said, how many touches do we have in every interaction with a customer that comes into our restaurant? He goes, I'm going to give you an hour. You guys all brainstorm and come up with an answer. And within an hour, he came back to him and said, time's up, how many touches? And they had come up with about 17 touches along the way, from the greeting to the seating, to the plating, to the handing out the food, to delivering the check. And he said, that's not good enough. We can do better. I'm going to give you another hour. At the end of that hour, they came back with about 33 touches, nearly double what they had come back with the first time. And he said, that's still not enough. So bring me a better list. And he gave them another hour. 3 hours, the staff and crew of this restaurant, 11 Madison Park, racked their brains trying to identify touches along the way with every customer. And they ended up coming back with about 74 or 75, he said. He goes, we can start there. And he brought them all back together and started pointing out all of the little touches. When the napkin is placed on the table with silverware, are they straight? Are they in the right order? Are they placed with care before the person even sees them? Did you care about how you set the table? Did you care about the direction that the decorations on the table were set? When you bring the food, how is the food presented? Is it always presented from the right or the left? Is it presented all dishes at once? Is everything crowded on the table? Is everything placed neatly on the table? It just goes beyond the basic tasks. He got up to about 125 touches along the way and said, this is going to be the benchmark from now on. So what they did is they created this holistic experience where everything reflects a clear intention with that customer. When you're intentional, even the smallest actions feel like they matter. And if they matter to you, that will resonate through to your client and your customer. That translates to every guest or client you have. So ask yourself, how can I bring intention to every part of my day in my industry? International excellence doesn't just elevate the experience for others. It brings a sense of pride and purpose into everything we do. I was moved in this meeting, to say the least, and embarrassed, perhaps is the word to use, at how I felt about my own performance. And I do get 5-star reviews. I have some raving fans and clients, but could I do better? Absolutely. Do I fail along the way, slip and fall, and admit to myself I could do a better job? Absolutely. I hope this is starting to resonate with some of you. Number 3, the number 3 topic he talked about is empowering team culture. Before every dinner, they would have a huddle, and their huddle would last nearly an hour. Before every dinner service. The dinner service is an event in the restaurant industry, and they would get together and plan for the event, just like planning for a performance. The actors, the singers would come together and they rehearse, they talk, they learn what they're going to do, and they practice it before they get started. So in empowering team culture in your industry, what kind of things could you do to do a better job, to practice before you perform. Excellence doesn't come from one person alone. It's a team effort. And Will emphasize that a culture where every person feels valued and invested is crucial. This means empowering your team to take ownership in every role at the industry. When a team member feels like their contributions matter, they're more motivated to give their best and take pride in what they do. I know I do. When I know that I've done a better job, I take pride in what I do. Will emphasizes that treating every person from the dishwasher to the maitre d' is essential to the overall experience. And the experience is what you're trying to create. In their industry, they hired a man that they called the Dreamweaver, like the Gary Morris song from back in the 70s, Dreamweaver. And I love that song. And I think that in every industry, maybe that's something we need to do, is create that Dreamweaver position in our industry as well. Hey, Cody says, I'm telling all of his secrets. Cody, I would imagine Cody's read the book, and if you haven't, you need to. But Cody is phenomenal at doing these things, and that's one of the reasons I always feel so welcomed. It's a joy whenever I go in to see Cody and Gina Blair at Fire Slice. I just really enjoy the experience. When you're known, when they know what you like, when they know what you drink, and they set it down when you sit in your place there. It's a reminder that in any environment, whether it's a restaurant like Cody's or others, an office or a community, the best results come from the team where everyone is engaged and respected. So think about that. How can you empower others around you in your industry, in real estate, in insurance, in business, as a landscaper, as a car wash detail attendant, as a pressure washer, as a lawyer? How can you empower others around you on your team that they feel seen and create a truly great experience by building everyone up and making them understand that you all work together with a shared sense of purpose and respect? Number 4, genuine connection and empathy. Here's one that's crucial. Will highlights how important it is to make people feel seen and valued. It's about going beyond just doing your job. It's listening, observing, and showing empathy, which we've talked about in the previous show. Empathy isn't sympathy. Empathy is an understanding of where that person is and their place in life. It's about seeing them where they are and understanding that. Whether you're in the hospitality industry, retail, or any job that connects with people, taking the time to understand someone's needs builds trust and respect. Will Guidara recalls instances when his team paid close attention to guest needs, often reading their body language or picking up on little details to offer tailored, attentive service. Empathy isn't about faking your friendliness. It's about really caring about the people that you're taking care of. And when we make an effort to do that, to connect on this personal level, we're not just providing a service, we're offering an experience that feels personal and meaningful just to that one person. It's a reminder for us to slow down, listen, and ask, what can I do to make this person's day better? One of the points I wrote down in some of the notes I took yesterday, he actually said, slow down to speed up. And I was like, what does that mean? Slow down to speed up. But he says, as you slow down and learn to recognize all of these moments, you will start to understand how often these moments arise in your industry, learn from them, and how to actively respond to them each time they arise. And it becomes a practiced performance of personal touches. For one instance, they had people that were planning a large wedding, very large wedding, and the bride's family and the groom's family were at odds. They couldn't get along. It turned into a huge fight. So they decided to elope, and they went to New York and they got married, and they were eating dinner in his restaurant, and it was their wedding supper. They had no reception for their wedding. It was just them. Will had negotiated with Tiffany and Company, that was right across the square from where the restaurant was. And it took him a couple of years of negotiating, but he got the Tiffany company, the little turquoise blue boxes. He got Tiffany to give them boxed sets of champagne flutes. And they presented them with these flutes with champagne on the house. And then they went upstairs at the restaurant and they prepared a private dining room with staff and crew of the restaurant. And when the meal was over, they told them, hey, the staff and crew is having a party upstairs. We got a couple of cases of beer and the people are going to celebrate the evening after we shut down here. And we would love it if you would just join us. And when they went up to join them for a drink, they had turned it into a wedding reception. How awesome is that, right? They asked themselves, what can I do to make this person's day better? Wonderful, heartfelt story, right? Number 5, adaptability and spontaneity. What does that mean? Guidara empowers his team to be flexible and respond to unique guest needs, encouraging creative problem solving. This adds a layer of personal touch that guests won't forget. Doing something, it's going to be our bonus point at the end of the show, but doing something over and above what is expected is where the magic happens. It really does. People won't forget. People say a lot, they'll forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And that feeling is what is carried. Many instances in our life, we can go back and remember the time when someone showed us kindness or someone went out of their way to make something happen for us. And if we don't remember the cost of what it was, I have actually had a couple of very stressful experiences when I got here to Miami, and that's okay, because there are other people involved that went out of their way to make that occurrence less stressful for me. It was amazing how they went out of their way to make me happy, even when it wasn't necessarily their job, but to them, it was their job to make me or to help me have a better experience. So offering these small gestures or a tailored experience that brightens someone's mood totally changes their day. Will says that flexibility is essential to outstanding hospitality because it allows employees to create one-of-a-kind experiences. And sometimes they do those all on their own. They don't have to go ask permission for that. They have permission to make the magic happen, right? This applies to all fields. Being adaptable shows people we're willing to make adjustments that serve them best, not us best. Too many times we are so focused on ourselves, we lose sight of the fact that we are in the sales, service, and hospitality business. No matter what we do, hospitality should be number one. Don't be afraid to embrace the unexpected. Give yourself permission to adapt in the moment. Shine, be your best self. Sometimes it's in those spontaneous decisions that we create our most meaningful connections with our clients, friends, and customers. And then number 6, leading with heart. And this is one that really touched base with me. Some of you that know me, I can get emotional, but I'm a heart guy. I'm a feeling guy. And there are people that rule with an iron fist. There are people that are soft and wishy-washy. There are people that are more emotional and like to have meaningful connections with their clients and friends. And I believe that I'm one of those people. It's just part of my makeup, and I have learned to understand that and embrace that. So lastly, we have this leading with the heart. Will says that leadership isn't just about authority, it's about building relationships. And you guys that know the Midweek Motivation Live show, that know that everything that we talk about is about relationships. By leading with empathy, kindness, and understanding, Will created a work environment where people feel valued, not tolerated. He believes that when team members feel cared for, they're more motivated and more likely to extend that same care to others. And at the end of the day, that's what we all need. Leadership from the heart fosters trust and strengthens bonds between employees and guests alike. Will's approach shows that we don't have to choose between high standards and compassion. There is a blending that comes when you embrace both. And as a leader, showing people that we genuinely care creates a ripple effect that touches everyone. So think about how you lead in your industry, with your friends, with your family or coworkers. Are you creating a space where people feel seen and appreciated? I certainly hope that you are. And if you're not, I hope that I challenge you today to become that kind of a leader, become that kind of an owner, become that kind of a mentor to those around you, your friends, your family, and your coworkers. Create that space with them where they feel seen and appreciated for everything they do. This conference has been incredible. Jesse Itzler was our first keynote speaker, owner of NetJets, partnered with Warren Buffett. Incredible speaker. And I didn't know exactly what to expect from Will Guidara. And I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised and impressed. His manner of speaking, his stage presence, though quiet and reserved, was dynamic and powerful. It caused everyone in the room to think so deeply, as well as it did me. So there you have it, Will Guidara's philosophy of unreasonable hospitality. It's more than a business strategy, it's a way of life. Each of these points I've given you today is the reminder that excellence doesn't come from what we do, but from how and why we do what we do. Whether we're connecting with family, building relationships at work, or serving our communities, we can all be a little more intentional, a little more empathetic, and a lot more committed to excellence. I know I am, and I know that you will be too. Thanks for tuning in to Midweek Motivation Live today with me, your host, Patrick Lee. Please keep bringing your best, and I'll see you next week for more motivation and inspiration. Motivating you to success in every area of life. That's our motto here today. How can you become more hospitable to others in your business? The future is up to you. You guys have heard of Penn and Teller, the magicians. Teller says that the definition of magic to him is doing more than is reasonably expected. That's where the magic happens. I can do it. You can do it. Courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. Go out there today. Be courageous. Do a better job. I'll see you next time. I love you. Bye-bye.